Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what I have here, Dr. Chris? Welcome, everybody.
What do you have, my man?
I have a blank contract.
Mm.
Nothing on the front,
Okay.
nothing on the back. And a little memo I got mentioned that Mr. Vince Russo, bro, is not going to be available this coming Monday night on the show you do with him on Legion of Raw. And they asked me if I would put pen to paper and be the host with you on Monday night. And I was told that I would get an extra pack of Fruit Adventure Tic Tacs for doing so.
Can we make it official live right now?
Hold on.
Very nice. Very nice.
You got it. I will see you Monday. Have a nice evening. Oh, wait a minute. We have a show to do.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. This is Bill Apter. I'm Dr. Chris. This is Unscripted. We are here. Yeah,
we are.
How are you, my man?
I'm good, but you know what? The whole there's something that's I always say there's something that's been bugging me, right? Mm-hmm. The Vince McMahon, the whole domino effect and everything, and right now the rumor everyone is trying to make like it's really happening is that what's his name? It doesn't matter what his name is. But this whole thing with him being on the board of directors, storyline and not storyline, eventually he wants to bring his own writers in, Brian Gerwitz and other people, and they're going to try and inch Triple H out of his position. I don't buy any of this, but you've heard the rumors, I assume, correct?
I have.
What do you think, Dr. Chris?
I agree with you. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's, if anything, The Rock would want to keep Triple H a part of WWE because, he has a brilliant mind. I've said this before. Triple H has a brilliant mind. He's one of the guys who watched the tapes, back in the day and really had a mind for the business, and I respect that, and The Rock respects that. I don't think that, I heard that they had animosity, 25 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever, man. It's a business, man. Money talks. And Vince McMahon, even when he was at the helm, he brought in a lot of people who he had animosity with. If they make money, I mean, that's what matters. So
look at the times when, unquestionably, we're not going to bring Sergeant Slaughter back. That so and so brought him back.
Yeah,
not just Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah,
but there were so many other people that he refused. That he says never again. But again, when it's best for business.
Randy Savage, Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Warrior. I mean, from a business, and he stood him up. And he brought him back and had him cut a very eerie promo. That was his final promo.
Wasn't that
very eerie?
Yes. I've never told this story because nobody's brought this up before. But I emailed once in a while. I would email Stephanie McMahon. Mm-hmm. Love her to death. She's just terrific. She's just a nice person. She's my favorite McMahon, actually.
Nice.
Yeah. So I remember emailing her that day after Raw, the morning of Raw, and saying, boy, that was very emotional with Jim Hellwig, that thing. And she hit me back on the email and she said, he's dead. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I've never told anybody that story. You just reminded me of it.
Oh. Yeah, just super eerie, man.
Very. It's almost like he knew that somebody said, tomorrow you're going to be dead.
Yeah.
You don't have 3 days, you have tomorrow.
One man beats his final beat and stuff like that. Just very eerie stuff.
So, Dr. Chris, now that we're on that road to WrestleMania, despite all the angles and everything that's going on, who is your top pick for the WWE Hall of Fame this year? Who do you think belongs in there that we don't know who's going in fully yet? So who do you pick?
I still stand behind The Rock should be in the Hall of Fame, and then Paul Heyman should be in the Hall of Fame. Those should be the top two since it's in Philly. I think it makes sense because Paul Heyman's with the Bloodline, and then that can tie in the whole Bloodline thing with Philly and Philly.
ECW too. That whole connection with Philly.
Yeah. Philly. What I mean by is ECW. The Bloodline with ECW is Heyman's the bridge between the two.
Paulie Philly.
There you go, Paulie Philly, Paulie Danger Philly.
Oh, I like that, Paulie Danger Philly. That's good.
Thank you. And so, I think The Rock and Paul Heyman. I mean, as far as headliners, main eventers, there's usually a main eventer, a staple main eventer that headlines. I can't really think of anyone else as far as just a legend who hasn't been there from a main event standpoint other than The Rock. I'm sure that
I agree with you. He's the pick. I think that, but you see, that would happen on Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you don't have to rev up Saturday and Sunday at WrestleMania that much, but for him to show up at the Hall of Fame there, do you think he would be cheered or booed?
I think that depends on who the crowd is. It used to be, I've been to one or two Hall of Fame doing media there. Actually, I met you for the first time at the Hall of Fame.
We did.
That was back in oh goodness, was that in Orlando?
I don't remember. I'm terrible with that. I've done so much. It's just
my Orlando or New Orleans, one of them. But yeah,
was my son with me?
No.
Then it was Orlando.
Orlando.
He was with me in New Orleans.
Got you. So yeah, it was the crowd was still wrestling fans. It wasn't as like professional as like a lot of wrestlers and their families like it used to be. And so I do think that The Rock will get booed. Yes.
Yeah. Every time I think of The Rock now, I think of that one moment, just one turn of at the kickoff show when Dusty talked about how the grandfather of Roman and The Rock, Peter Maivia, would be embarrassed, and The Rock, the way he just with his bulging muscle just made that turn, and he said, "What did you say? We have a problem."
Yeah, man.
And that one more, I keep reliving that. That was one of the most dramatic. Literally, he was turning, but he was turning heel as well. It was amazing.
He was turning his heels.
Right. But I think The Rock would be. But I think The Rock would be an excellent choice to be in that building on Friday night and get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Although there's another angle there. You know what that is?
What is it?
The angle is, of course, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's on the board of directors. It's a conflict of interest, but maybe it's not in that contract. So this gives more credence to his I can do anything I want because I'm on the board of directors. I chose me to be in the Hall of Fame. Whoa.
I'm for it. Yeah.
Will Rock choose himself to be in the Hall of Fame? What a headline.
That would be funny. Yeah. Why not? I mean, do it. Let's do it. I mean, let's just throw everything out and see what sticks at this point. You know,
magazine headline. Will The Rock choose himself to be in the Hall of Fame?
Wow, there you go.
Dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous, man. I do think that The Rock will be in the Hall of Fame. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame, absolutely, without question. And I do think the Philly crowd will boo him, but at the same time, so what? I mean, Rock does a really good job with improvising.
Yes.
And he's so good on the mic, one of the best people on the mic ever. And just the whole Cody Crybabies things, that was actually fun. I'm actually
that's great.
Yeah, I actually wrote a script. I wrote a script last week that put on Pancakes and Power Slam, but I wrote another one today that I'm gonna record soon in the next couple of days.
A script regarding Cody's crybabies?
Yes, and it's actually called "Pro Wrestling Fans Are Weird." That's the opinion piece that I wrote.
I'm one of them. I'm one of them.
I don't know about that.
And I'm proud of my weirdness.
You don't fit. No, you should.
I'm proud of my weirdness.
You don't fit. You don't fit in the category. Well, maybe you do, but I don't think you do.
All right.
You don't fit in the category of what I'm going to talk. Who I'm going to talk.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll watch that on Power Slams and Pancakes.
Pancakes.
Interesting. So here's the other way around. I usually have my Power Slam before my pancakes.
All right,
man, I'm hungry. So Vince McMahon, WrestleMania season. Vince McMahon sitting at home or wherever he is he watching it? What do you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is hard. I mean, just because he's stepped away forcibly, I mean, he didn't voluntarily do it. I mean, he was kind of forced to resign because of the allegations. I mean, he still denies them. So, I absolutely. I mean, it's in his blood, man. I mean, he's going to watch wrestling to the day he dies, and I would dare I say, he still might be feeding, information to certain people that's still there.
Can you imagine him starting his own company at this point?
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. And he, and he, there's who knows if there's in a situation like this, we should have a lawyer here, but in a situation like this, is there a non-compete situation?
That's a good point. If there isn't, I got a blockbuster angle for you. Ready?
Give it to me. Go for
it. You're the guy of the mags. Vince McMahon's new job.
Colon.
General manager of AEW.
I pitched that, I think, a week ago. I think it was here. But oh my God, could you?
And here's the thing.
Incredible. I'm on my way to AEW.
And here's the thing.
What is he doing here?
I don't, the cons, they make more money than Vince McMahon do. So it's not a downgrade financially. Company wise, yes, it is a downgrade.
Yeah.
But at the same time, money wise, the cons are, they're incredibly wealthy. And so I'm sure the cons have the money to bring in Vince McMahon.
Wait, I got a better overline for it.
Go for it.
The ultimate con job.
Of course.
Vince McMahon as AEW commish.
Beautiful. Absolutely.
Like it? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
let's publish that. Yeah, go ahead. I had to jump in. I'm sorry.
No, that was that. You're a pro at this.
It just came in. We used to on every Friday at 1:00 Eastern time in the afternoon, Stu Sachs or Peter King would yell out headlines, or Craig Peters, and we'd all sit around the editor's desk coming up with headlines. That's what this felt like.
Love it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, that's beautiful. We did that driving in Detroit. We did a headline discussion, just like the one that you said. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. You win that one. That was
all right. Yeah. But let's get back to what you were saying about the cons with all their money.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Tony Khan would do something like that. I do think Tony Khan. He is so about winning and having that dream of finally not, I still go by this. People ask me this all the time. Do I think the WWE is going to go out of business? I don't. I don't think WWE is ever going to go out of business. No. But with Vince McMahon away from WWE, do I think that he would be kind of bitter enough, or would I be just kind of to hurt them a little bit, power struggle enough to say, okay, I got something for you. I'm going to be a part of AEW in an on-air, role, and I
My
think that would
God.
be blockbuster, man.
Could you see him coming out with nobody knows about this? Just him coming out and that walk down
Sorry.
there with
Yeah.
it's kind of like what was it when Booker T looked at he wasn't sure who the new general manager was going to be, and then they pulled the camera back and it was Eric Bischoff. Can you imagine them doing the same thing where Brian Alvarez, not Brian, what's his name? One of the backstage, Renee Paquette is interviewing somebody, and all of a sudden she says, "We have a new general manager," and then he walks in, and she says, "This can't be."
Yes.
Well, it is. Damn it.
And then they go to well, before you do that, you got to go to commercial. You got to do the cliffhanger to pull the segments over. This can't be, and then the fades to black and go to commercial, right? You got to give them suspense.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that is one of those things that it starts the show, and so the cliffhanger, you keep us watching because you're going to announce it at the very end. And so at the very end, that causes you to watch the whole show.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Tony Khan comes in the ring. He says, and without further ado, the new general manager of AEW is, and then this music comes on.
Here I come walking down the street. Get the funniest look from. Oh, that's a monkey song. But wait. Let's back up.
All
There's
right.
a scenario here we have not talked about.
Okay.
Vince McMahon said that he will fight these allegations, correct?
Yes. Yep.
What if everything is cleared? What if that happens and TKO decides, well, the guy's nothing's been proven that he's guilty. Do they bring him back?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
I think
association.
I think he's destroyed his credibility from a PR.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Yeah, but I mean, AEW is a different animal then, though. I mean, like, it's funny because when you think of stuff like TNA and ROH and things like ROH was kind of mom and pop, but TNA was owned by Panda Energy, right?
Sure.
And so and WWE was it was a mom and pop company, I mean, it was the McMahons. Now what's interesting is that AEW is the mom and pop company.
Right.
And WWE's owned by a parent company.
Or Pop and Son.
Yeah, the ad is mom and pop. And WWE is now under a parent company.
Yeah.
So with AEW having the mom and pop type of authority that comes with being that type of company, you can do whatever you want. You're not really thinking about PR as much. I mean, that's still a very important part of any company.
Yes, of course.
But if Tony Khan is not thinking about like, well, I got to appease the parent company, right? I got to appease the higher ups. No, he is the higher
It's his daddy, right?
Yeah.
Daddy, I want to bring him. Daddy, I want to bring him Mr. McMahon.
Yeah. And he's like, will he bring in numbers? Yes, of course he'll bring it. Okay,
but he may have been. He may be hung for all these things. Well, will he bring us in money?
Yes.
That's it. All right.
Yeah, the answer would be yes.
I got another one nobody's been talking about.
Let's do it.
What's the bottom line, son, is that Stone Cold Steve Austin has mentioned on I forgot where it was exactly, but he might be maybe one more time, and the dream match against CM Punk. I think it would be really interesting, but I think Punk would have his hands full in terms of, I don't know what kind of movement Stone Cold would have at this point, if he's in any kind of physical shape for that. I'm sure he'd get into shape, and I think we'd all love to see that match. What do you think?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah. So about when the buzz was going on, around 8 or so years ago, that was it became cool. um, but no, I mean, Austin didn't look good against Kevin Owens last year, and he had his t-shirt and jorts on, and just because he knows that he only had so much left to give in the tank. I think it's one of those things that the ship just sailed, man. I mean, like, to me, I think Sting and Taker sailed too. It's just you have Austin Punk and Taker Sting are two of the ones that I don't think we'll ever get, although both of them were dream matches. So, and Austin and Brock was another dream match that never happened to.
But they always talk about you can do it with the right opponent. You don't have to do a lot. You can be protected with the right opponent. So, I'd love to see this, because I know Stone Cold Steve Austin's heart is still into this. So if it happens and they make it, and he makes it happen, he'll give 150% of that. Last thing before I know there's another topic that you had brought up before we went on live.
Quick before you go to that, right, real quick. I do want to say, though, with CM Punk, though, usually with that dynamic, at least one of them has to do most of the carrying, and I don't think that either one of them have the ability to do that right now.
You don't think Punk could do it?
No, I mean, he looks like he's getting banged up. Like he's starting to look pretty banged up in his matches. So
yeah, they can do some cinematic.
Now I'm all for. I mean, cinematic matches protect the character, but the problem is you kind of have to have a cinematic person. You have to make it make sense. Like when Bray Wyatt had his cinematic matches, they made sense. When Broken Matt, had his cinematic matches, they made sense. When Taker had his cinematic match against AJ Styles, I think that was amazing. I think that was done very
a mini movie. Yeah,
it was very well. But CM Punk and Austin, there's nothing cinematic or mysterious about their characters to make that make sense.
What you can do there is, and I don't know if you, when I was watching Monday Night Raw, that promo for the entrance of Bronson Reed was one of my favorite, where he's knocking over the buildings.
I mentioned
whoever the ESPN person is that took over from Kevin Dunn, he's doing a great job. I love it's a new fresh look. Kevin Dunn stuff was brilliant. This is another thing. But now I want to talk about another thing before we get to the thing that we talked about before the thing.
Yeah.
Sting's final match with Darby Allin as a tag team partner. They won the belts. Sting's sons came in to congratulate him. The Young Bucks beat everybody up in the ring. I still am to the point of that, if this is actually going to be Sting's last match, it's got to be against somebody with heat against this person. There's probably time to change this, but what do you think about the current scenario that they're going after, with the two of them defending the belts against the Young Bucks, and they're going to need to retain the belts for a successful Sting goodbye, and then maybe put them up in a tournament?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me at all. I mean, with the I skimmed through Dynamite last week, but it was the first one I've watched in nearly a year. But when I saw on Facebook a graphic of Sting and Darby becoming a tag team, so I ended up watching Dynamite. And saw that.
Sting's your guy.
Yeah, he's the GOAT to me.
Yeah.
But then I saw the Young Bucks, and I do follow on socials and stuff like that. Parts of it, I did see that the Young Bucks are calling themselves Matthew and Nicholas now. They're just kind of corporate-ish,
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just, it's not clicking with me. And Sting's a company guy. I know a lot of people who work very well with Sting, you being one of them. He's a company guy. He's he's one of those people that, hey, what do you want me to do? Sure, I'll do it type of deal. So I don't think he's really, rocking boats backstage. He's just kind of going with it.
Yeah.
I just wish that he would finally in his career rock a couple boats, man, and say, nah, I'm not really feeling this one.
Who should the opponent be?
I think Christian Cage should have been the opponent
Yeah,
for.
me too. Exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Great promos between the two of them.
Yeah, he's the biggest heel in professional wrestling right now.
Periodically, when I talk to Sting, I always tell him, I said, "You're crazy doing what you're doing," but he goes out and does it. So
yeah, he does. All right, you got a topic.
No, you do. You do. You brought up something.
Yes,
you brought up something at the beginning of this before we went on the air, and we should talk about it.
Yes, indeed. Before you do that, we got a few more minutes left. We got to honor the super chats. Rollin 999. Are you guys shocked that The Rock versus Roman Reigns at 40 was so vehemently rejected by fans? Were you surprised that WWE canceled it? To me, this is paramount to WWE canceling Hogan versus Andre for Mania 3.
I don't see it in the same league as that. I think that what they're doing right now with Cody against Roman, I just have a feeling, and it's nothing I know at all. Rock's going to be involved in it. Maybe he's a special referee. And Seth Rollins comes to Cody's rescue when Rock screws Cody, and Cody winds up getting the title that way. So no, I like the direction it's going in right now.
Firstly, I actually can see the similarities of Hogan versus Andre with Rock versus Reigns. I do think you're building up two powerhouse names, an irresistible force versus an immovable object. Not size-wise, but I will say when it comes for point of presence, just popularity. So I can see the resemblance there. I do think that I don't see Seth involved in it. Just wouldn't make sense.
Well, they're making it clear on TV that Seth, he said that he's going to be Cody's shield.
Yeah, I think that's just setting up the tag match for Elimination Chamber. I think it'll be Cody and Seth versus Rock and Reigns.
Maybe
to hype up WrestleMania. I don't see Seth being involved in any of this at WrestleMania.
And I do.
It wouldn't make sense. Like, why would you have the world champ? That makes the title even more secondary. Like you have the world champion somehow helping Cody Rhodes, but not defending his championship.
Well, he's going to defend it the night before.
So he's going to defend it and then help Cody. I just
different nights, sure, because he vowed to be Cody's guy, because there's going to be his shield, but there's going to be Solo, there's going to be an Uso, there's who knows, there's going to be 100 Samoans.
And this is what I would be in favor of. Actually, I'd be in favor of Seth turning on Cody, because it doesn't make sense.
What do you mean turning against Cody?
Yes,
turning him on, right?
No, I didn't say that. I said turning.
Turning on Cody.
Yeah, turning on Cody.
None of that here on this show. We're PG.
I didn't say turning him on. I said turning on him. So, turning on Cody, and I do think that would be, because it makes sense. I mean, you have to think about it. He lost 3 times last year, or 2022, and then all of a sudden, I'm protecting you now. I mean, like, that's one of those things that a baby face would do while he's being a baby face, and then he makes the big turn and say, I never forgot, the fact that
he and Roman Reigns become two
the shield.
Of the shield.
That's the shield that he's referring to. You know what I mean? Like, I think that would be a nice twist to it, because logically it makes absolutely no sense that Seth is just all of a sudden, hey, Cody, let me be your friend. And in the presser, like, he's the one standing back.
Yeah.
While everybody gets to shine on the stage but him. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
Knowing someone like Seth Rollins, he wouldn't just be okay with that being in the background.
No, but he was PO'd at the end of that thing, so I'm not sure
he's not. He's still in the background though. I mean, he was in the background the
but not
entire
at
presser.
Raw.
He still was. I mean, he was in the background the entire presser,
Yeah,
and then
I
at
know.
the very end of the press conference, he's like, "Oh, I'm at it." You're like, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. So, all right, we don't have time for the topic. Let's just do
We'll bring it up another show.
a really quick. Go ahead and promote it because it's
Oh, yes. All of you fans at Live, for quite some time, Sportskeeda has been having newsletters, not just on pro wrestling, but a lot of different sports. So if you go to Sportskeeda / newsletter and click on the subscribe, it's free on the newsletter. Every Wednesday is the special Bill Apter edition, where it's kind of like reading what I used to do in the magazines. And we're adding things. It's stories, exclusive stories. It's my picks for things that are coming up. It's questions, the trivia questions, like this week's question, and don't answer it, Dr. Chris. For example, I remember that guy down on the bottom there. But like this week's trivia question that comes out every Wednesday will be who did Terry Bollea pattern his Hulk Hogan character after? Was it Superstar Billy Graham? Was it Austin Idol? Or was it two other guys that I mentioned in there? But, a lot of fun stuff. A photo from my exclusive files, from the past that you'll only see on this newsletter. So again, go to Sportskeeda / newsletter and subscribe to the newsletter. Dr. Chris, have you done it already?
I've not.
Okay, you're going to.
I am.
I know you are.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know you are.
All right.
Thank you for letting me get that in there.
Oh, absolutely, my man. Yeah. All right. So so we were roughly just real quick. So Billy Jack Haynes allegedly, he was arrested for allegedly murdering his wife. Just real quick thoughts on that, Bill, and you're going to go more into it on Time Machine. So
well, I've known Billy Jack Haynes since the late 70s. I spoke with him about 3 weeks ago, and he told me his wife has dementia. He's been visiting her in the hospital every day, and it's a terrible thing, seeing somebody just go down mentally and everything from something like dementia. So I'm not defending anything he did, or if he did it, who knows? Maybe she did it. Maybe she committed suicide. We don't know what happened, but it's just such a sad situation. That what was your take on it when you heard it, Dr. Chris?
Like, wow. I mean, wow. And then I listened to I was listening to a shoot interview of him from RF Video over the past hour and a half or so, and took a lot of notes. And so I'm actually about to hop over to Pancakes and Power Sam show. I'm going to do a live forensic psychoanalysis on Billy Graham in this particular case. And so I do a lot
Billy Jack Haynes, you mean?
Billy Jack Haynes. Sorry, I'm looking
and that RF video was done quite many years ago, as far as
2009. Yeah, 2009.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
So I'm going to do a forensic psychoanalysis on there. I do my personal channel. I do true crime cases. Yeah. And so I'm going to do a psychoanalysis on that live. He did admit that he is in the shoot interview. He did admit that he is a psychopath. He was diagnosed as a psychopath. Yeah. So I'm going to break that down, break down psychopathy. I'm going to break down how psychopathy could be potentially tied into this alleged murder. So that's what I'll be talking about on PNP.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds very interesting.
Yes, indeed. This right here is Bill Apter, my guy. I am Dr. Chris. This is Unscripted. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah, and see you